you so much for joining me and my guest. My guest is Detective Lieutenant Stephen O'Donoghue, and we are going to talk about scams, some recent scam activity, and we will let you know what those are about and how you can avoid being scammed. So glad that you decided to come to the studio and chat about this, because an informed public is a protected public.
Thank you for having me. And it's very important that, again, education is power. So the more we get this out, the more that people know, the better protections they can have.
Almost every other day, there's some new twist to a scam. There's a new scam, or maybe an existing scam that has another component to it. And unfortunately, there are always victims.
It's all about fear, all about pressure, and that's their whole MO on how they're going to get you to do something they want you to do.
What our viewers will see today is actually a PowerPoint.
You might get a phone call from a friend that's involved in the scam, and they saw this PowerPoint, and they might be able to help you. So the more people that know about these scams, the better off we are protecting them. So in this scam, the victim, the target, receives an email. The email shows the victim's full name, their mobile number, their address, sometimes their previous address, and a street view photo of their address or addresses. The email will threaten that someone has hacked the victim's cellular device using malware and have videos of the victim doing embarrassing things. And they have links, websites the victim has accessed. They then demand that the victim transfer money in Bitcoin to the suspects to avoid exposing the victim's information or inappropriate videos that will be leaked to the victim's listed contacts. The suspect will request the victim pays in Bitcoin and attaches a QR code or seeks gift cards to send to the suspect.
I guess one of the red flags in this is the use of Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is an untraceable currency, and so I use the analogy of a prism. So the first transaction of a Bitcoin goes through that first prism and then spreads out to 1,000 other points. And then those lights go to another 10 prisms, which then it just continues to filter out into the ether, and it makes it almost impossible to track down and to recover.
Folks that are scammed should know that there's a good chance they won't get their money back.
There's a very strong chance that once the money gets into the Bitcoin world, we're not successful at all to get it back.
The pressure that's involved, the pressure that's put onto the victim.
They don't want to give you a chance to breathe. They don't want you to get a chance to take that pause that makes you think about what you're doing. It's a constant pressure tactic, and they're good at what they do. They train on this. They refine their trade and craft just like we refine our trade and craft.
The QR code and links and how dangerous they could be.
One of the scams that was going on in Boston is the automated parking meters. And I don't know if you've ever used one, but you go up to your phone and you put the photo on and you take the QR code. Well, one of the scammers thought it was a great idea to put his own QR code over that city or town's QR code. So when you were linking to it, thinking you're paying for parking, it was all going into their account. So the QR code can be manipulated to go anywhere it wants to go.
What should a person that has been contacted with this kind of scam do?
So the first thing is, if you haven't been on inappropriate sites or you haven't been involved in any kind of risque behavior online, you've got to understand that it's not involving you, so that it is a scam. But people, again, the pressure tactic, sometimes they say, well, it's coming from your house, and maybe you have kids, or maybe you live in an apartment building, or different people use the IP address. So they know that. They've done their research. These are not cold calls. They understand where you live. Google Earth provides great images. They'll do some background. It's very easy to find out on the internet who lives where, how many people they have, voter registrations. This isn't just a fly-by-night operation. This is a multi-million-dollar operation. They do their research on you.
Pause. Think about this. Call a friend. Call the police department, your local police department. Don't react. Don't give in so quickly.
Yeah, and it's tough sometimes because, as we'll see in some of the other scams, there's pressure where family members are in trouble. And so that is a heightened sense of awareness. And so it's hard when you're in it to see how fast it's moving. But if you can just take that moment to pause, and I tell people, if the phone rings and you don't know who it is, let it go to voicemail. That's that pause that will break that chain.
And most of the time, it won't go to voicemail.
Correct.
Let's look at scam alert number 2.
So in this scam, the victim receives a call from a police department, a government agency, and the suspect states that the victim was involved in identity theft or criminal activity, and the victim's social security number or bank account was stolen or compromised and being used pending a criminal investigation. Due to the protocol and confidentiality, they do not allow the target to speak to anyone but the suspect. The suspect will ask the victim to download a program or app on your phone or your computer via email or text to facilitate communication between the suspect and the victim. The suspect will inform the victim that new accounts need to be created, and the victim will get the money back once these new accounts are created. The suspect will ask the victim to wire or transfer money to the new accounts using a Coinbase app to buy Bitcoin or using a Bitcoin ATM with a QR code or purchase gift cards.
Social Security number. Talk about the importance of keeping that private.
Your information is not secure. So your social security number is out there. So whether it was whatever company you want to pick, I get those mailings for the free credit reports for a year. Your information's out there and it's easily accessible. So keep your social security number to yourself. Sometimes the scammers already have it. They've done their homework. But if they haven't, don't provide that to anyone over the phone that doesn't already have it or you haven't already verified.
You and I think we're of the same age, would remember when driver's licenses had social security numbers instead of now the licensed issued number.
Correct. We did a case a little while ago about a scammer in Quincy that we made an arrest on, and they had hundreds of dark web social security numbers. And it's easy to get to. They sell them in batches on the dark web for $10 for 10,000 numbers. And now out of those 10,000 numbers, maybe 100 work, maybe 10 work. But that's how they're getting that information.
Let's talk about downloading either a program or an app and the dangers of doing that.
So with this scam, what they'll do is they'll tell you your bank account is compromised. And then they'll try to get you, sometimes they'll switch you over to a different chat group. So you might be talking on the phone and they'll ask you to download WhatsApp, or they'll ask you to download Signet, or they'll ask you to download some other secure chat function that then pulls you out of your normal safety of your ISP and your web base into their world. And once they're in there, they tell you that your account is compromised, so we have to pull money out of that account, create a new account, and then we're going to refund the money back to your old account once we figure out who's been messing with it.
Now, a government agency is never going to tell you to download something.
They are not. They are not. And the police are not. So again, cold calling people, the police department, if they want to talk to you, they're probably going to knock on your door, or you're going to get something in the mail that says, for whatever reason, we want to talk to you, or this is going on. Same with government agencies. And very few of them are going to have you pay with Bitcoin. Government agencies don't have you pay debts or bills with Bitcoin.
And lastly, the transfer.
Yeah, they'll want you to transfer that money into a new account, and once that new account is created, you're not in charge of it, and that money is gone.
Scam alert number 3.
In this one, the suspect will contact the victim to inform the victim of criminal charges and that there is a warrant for the victim's immediate arrest. The suspect will state they work for the FBI, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, government agency, ATF. The suspect will state that the victim or someone close to the victim is using the victim's social security number and they are involved in a serious crime such as drug or sex trafficking, child pornography, money laundering. The suspect will demand money in order for the victim to purchase Apple gift cards, Walmart gift cards, or other gift cards, or use Bitcoin or Bitcoin app, the Bitcoin ATM, and again with the QR code.
So Bitcoin comes up again, but this time gift cards pop up. So explain the payment in gift cards and the red flag.
So what they'll have you do is go to a store and buy Apple gift cards, and they'll be talking to you on your phone, and then they'll have you scratch off the back of the gift cards, take photos of those gift cards, send them to them, and once you do that, that gift card is theirs for whatever amount of money that's in, and that gift card is null and void.
They're asking you to go purchase something like that. It's just something should trigger that this can't be legit.
Again, that pressure and fear tactic plays into that, where they're on the phone. They don't end that call with you. And you'll see, we've got video of victims that are on the phone as they're scratching off gift cards and reading numbers to the scammers. So that fear and pressure tactic, and with the bank, it's the same way, that they'll be on the phone the whole time and they tell you, don't tell anybody. If you tell anybody, you're as involved as what we're investigating. And that's that fear, where if you took that pause, You know, and stores can help as well. If you see somebody as a clerk in a store that's buying $2,000-$3,000 worth of Apple gift cards, you can ask them, are you okay? Are you being involved in a scam?
So if you're an associate working in a store that's checking out someone that's buying these cards, you can intervene.
Correct. It's just a simple conversation. So the banks are pretty good at it. The banks will see people come in making large withdrawals. So one of the things when I talk to some of these scammers in these presentations I've gone to is they love the United States because we have retirement plans. We have disposable income. Our 457s, 401ks can be tapped into, whereas in other places like Europe, Germany, France, it's a government-run retirement system. So that money is not easily accessible.
Scam alert number 4.
A salesperson or a solicitor will come by your residence claiming to be from some company. Could be National Grid, could be Mass Electric, could be Sun River Solar, or food vendor. Go Fresh was one we had in the city for a while. The salesperson will offer you discounts or rebates if you sign up with them on the spot. Again, there's that pressure. If you do it now, you'll get a discount. There will be pressure to sign then and there. Salesperson will want to see your utility bill from National Grid or Mass Electric and point out you several charges that you should have not been getting charged for, several charges that they might be able to beat. However, if you sign with them right now, they'll get you a rebate for the extra charges your service provider is charging you. The salesperson will offer to send you a link, email or text to your phone or computer, and that link will ask you to give them your name, address, phone number, credit card information, and account numbers. The salesperson will notify you of a one-time charge of $2 or some small amount that seems insignificant to your credit card that will be reverse refunded after your application with the new company is processed.
This brings another aspect that we haven't got to yet, and that's door-to-door solicitation. Solicitors should be registered in the town that they are soliciting in, correct?
Correct. Quincy has a local city ordinance that the solicitors have to register. We do a background check on solicitors, but they're getting smart. Again, when we go left, they go right. They're interpreting the law with certain solicitors now saying that they're not selling anything, that they're just doing informational stuff. So they've been pretty good when we've kind of run across them, but what happens is Steve O'Donohue goes to the Quincy Police Department, says, I'm going to register, you can run my background check, and then I hire 10 people that we don't check on that I drop off into neighborhoods. So that's usually the MO of how the solicitors work to get by around that. So when we find a solicitor that's not registered, they call the one that is, they come and say, oh, we didn't know, and then we start the process all over again.
You should never allow someone into your home.
Correct. If you don't know them or it's not scheduled, they don't come into your house. And with the utility companies, you can call National Grid, you can call Mass Electric, you can call the Department of Water, the Department of Soil, and ask them if they have somebody in the neighborhood that day that's supposed to be there. And they should tell you. They should have an ID, they should have a uniform, they should have all sorts of things that tell you a National Grid truck might be out in the middle of the street. Take that pause we talk about and take a minute to look around. Does this look right? Does it feel right? Does it seem right? And if it is, then you can deal with who you're dealing with at the door.
Pressure, that's what I had written down as well, that immediate response that is more than requested.
And everybody wants a deal, especially nowadays, right? Utility prices are through the roof. If you can save me money, it seems like I'm a little entertaining with it. But if you tell me I do it now, that I have to do it now, that's the pressure.
Scam alert number 5, which is also known as the grandchild in jail.
So this is the one that hits home with a lot of people. And AI is presenting some problems with this one because people are able to clone the voices of people. So if you have a YouTube video or you have a Facebook or an Instagram where you're talking about something that you're celebrating, your voice can be captured. So this scam to me seems like the one that's got the most potential to really trick people if AI gets involved with. So in this scam, there's been a recent new string of incidents involving grandchild in jail or family member jail scams in Massachusetts. In this scam, the suspect calls a victim, usually the grandparents, usually an older person, and either impersonates a grandchild or represents themselves as an attorney. The suspect claimed the victim's grandchild has been arrested after being in a car accident, and the grandchild needs cash immediately for bail. The suspect also informed the grandparent that there is a gag order in place from the court, so they can't talk to anybody about it. Other members of the scam then pose as a courier and show up at the victim's house to collect the money.
The gag order is what I want to talk about. Again, talk to no one else but me.
Correct.
And then we're going to talk about the courier.
One of the scams was the victim's grandson allegedly got in a car accident where a pregnant woman was hurt. So then they further layer this scam onto it, where it's not only your grandchild's in trouble, but now a pregnant woman has been hurt, and they play on that emotion.
Sympathy.
And then they turn around and they say that there's a gag order, that I'm the only attorney that can represent your grandchild, and I'm the only one that can get them out. So you have to give me $10,000 to retain them, and we can bail them out. And then what they'll say is, I need that money now because court's going to close, or they're going to, bringing them into court, and I'm going to send a courier to you. Now, sometimes with the courier, it is just an innocent Uber driver or a Lyft driver that gets charged, just get an account to come to your house and pick up a box and then bring it somewhere.
Oh, interesting.
Other times, it is the suspects, the lower level people on the suspect totem pole, that will come and do that, bring the box to someone else, and then turn it over to the next person.
Payment is, I suppose, accepted in various ways for this kind of a scam?
So they prefer cash, and this is where the banks come into play. And the banks are getting better at this, if not pretty good at it, where you'll have people coming in and getting large sum, $10,000, $20,000 withdrawals that have never done that before. And the banks will ask people, are you okay? Are you being part of a scam? But the pressure of this tactic forces people to say, I can't tell anybody about it. I'm going to jeopardize my grandson or my grandchild's life. I can't say anything. And they say, no, everything's okay. And then they get the $10,000 cash, they put it in a shoebox, they wrap it in tin foil. There's elaborate schemes that go along with this. And then a courier shows up and that money is gone.
And that whole aspect of AI.
And it's out there. And so once you have a clip, this clip we're talking about right now could be recreated in AI, and we could say anything we wanted.
Right.
So if you can get somebody's voice, that it will be that person talking to you instead of the scammer telling you that they need help and they need all this stuff. So again, we talk about the pause. A lot of these are broken, especially this scam. If someone just picks up the phone and calls the person and they say, no, I'm in class, or you know what, I'm at home, and then they realize it was a scam.
Scam alert number 6, looking on the internet for a personal loan. This is a story that a victim had shared.
Correct. There's a lot of legitimate loan agencies on the internet. This one wasn't. So they were looking on the internet for a personal loan. They received a positive response from a company called Lending Club. They had good reviews, and they were out of California. So they did their research. They looked at the reviews, and they found that. But reviews can be fake just like anything else. So they had a telephone meeting with a gentleman from Lending Club. He told them they'd been approved for $8,000 loan, but before they could get the loan, the amount would be transferred to their account. And I would have to transfer it back before I'd receive the loan money. And that was the same in the scam before. They're going to give you money, and then they want you to transfer it back.
So this back and forth
Correct.
is something of a red flag.
Right. So when you take a loan out, the normal thing is I'm asking for a loan, I'm going to get the money, and then I'm going to pay you back in installments usually.
Right.
Right? There's no, you're going to give me the money, then I'm going to give it back to you, then we're going to work it out.
Right.
On a few days later, $1,700 transferred in the account. So they didn't transfer the whole amount. It was far more than I thought would be transferred. On a Saturday morning, I was contacted and told to send the $1,700 back through Apple Pay. So again, this is the phishing line. They throw the $1,700 out. They're waiting for the bite. They get the bite. Now it starts. He wanted me to send $500 to a phone number. I could not send it because my bank blocked it for potential fraud. Another red flag, right? I was then warned that the money was federal money, and if I didn't send it back, I would be charged 3 to 5 times the $1,700. And this is the pressure and the threat. So this scam has it all. The pressure, the threat, the hook in the line. I responded I didn't want the money and wanted to send it back as soon as possible. I kept getting hassled to send the money back, but my account remained locked. He then asked me to Zelle $1,000 to another phone number. That did not work either. They then had me send $200 to a third phone number through Apple Pay. That did go through. After this, they told me to use gift cards to return the funds. They told me not to tell anyone at the store what I was doing. I bought $1,000 worth of gift cards without asking which ones to buy. This made them very angry. I did not understand why. He told me the accounting department might not allow him to be paid back by that type of gift card. He then had me go to Stop and Shop and purchase $300 Money Pack gift card. That is all I did on Saturday. On Sunday, I purchased $200 Sephora gift cards. The original $1,700 was deposited with a wash check. A check that I had deposited on September 13th was washed multiple times with the new check number.
So talk about the washed check and what that means.
So the wash check is a fake check. So the check can be, and it's going on, and it's one of the scams we'll talk about in a couple, I think it's 9. With acetone or nail polish remover, there's YouTube videos, people going in and they'll fish a check out, or they'll get a fake check, they'll wash it and write a different name on it with a different amount, and then you cash it, and your bank will hold it for a couple days. But during that time is when the pressure starts, where they say, look, we gave you the check, your check's in your bank account, you need to repay us back what we're doing.
Apple Pay, Zelle, again, these are, the fact that those are being used as a way to facilitate payment should be a red flag as well.
It is. And so with Zelle, you can create an account, and Zelle doesn't require you to go in like a bank account where you can go in and they verify who you are with an identification.
Right, because the bank initially did block.
Correct. So with Zelle, you can just go online and create a Zelle account and put a fake phone number or a fake email and create your Zelle account, and then it's hard for us to track it down and to trace it because it's a fictitious name or possibly a stolen identity as well that they're creating that Zelle account on. So once we can find out who it is, but then we found out that that person was a victim of identity theft. So the hole keeps getting deeper and deeper. And as far as, what was the second? Zelle, and then, the gift cards again.
Apple Pay and the gift cards came back.
So the gift cards, again, are untraceable. Once those numbers are scratched off and those cards are read off, that card is gone.
Started a new job. Here, again, we have a story from a victim.
So this one was unique. I haven't seen this before. So this person started a new job. Someone pretending to be the owner of the company emailed them. Through the company email, asked what the best number to contact me would be. I gave out my cell number to whom I thought was the owner of the company. I then received a text message asking me to help surprise my new team with some gift cards, right? So we all want to be part of the team, right? This is a great opportunity. You're a new person. It's playing on that insecurity of which they do. I agreed to help. I was told to purchase 3 Target gift cards for $200 each, totaling $600, and that I would be reimbursed after I bought them. I gave the gift card numbers with the code to the owner via text message. After I did that, the owner contacted me again to buy 3 more gift cards. I tried to call the owner's phone number and it went straight to voicemail. It was then I realized I had been scammed.
Again, gift cards popping up because of the fact that they aren't traceable.
Correct. In this phishing, again, they throw out the 3 gift cards, see if I can get $600. Once you hook, once that bite happens, now I'm going to come back.
Right. And the amount will be even more.
Yep.
When we're talking about gift cards, too, I do want to bring this up because I know that they have been altered at places of business. Folks will then buy them and think that the
Correct.
card that they have is fine. In fact, it's not. So talk about that and what folks should be aware of when they go to purchase gift cards for a legitimate purpose.
What some people are doing is they're going in there and they're getting the card numbers off the card and they're cloning them, and then they're basically activating that card. So then when you go buy the card, that card will be activated, but it's not in your name. It's not the physical card that they have. It's the clone card that they have, and that automatically filters in that balance for that clone card.
So the way to avoid picking up a card that has been compromised?
I would say make sure that the card that you buy the packaging looks correct, that when you go to the store to purchase it, that they run the numbers to make sure that the amount is correct, and maybe buy the 4th or 5th card in the line, not the 1st or 2nd one.
The cashier can run the numbers to make sure that the card hasn't
Correct.
been compromised. I think that would probably be the best route to go. Look at scam alert number 8, beware of romance scams.
This one was one, if you're in a dating app and you're in, that's the way you're going to date or meet people, my advice first off is to stay within that app, because that app has built-in protections within that app. There's some verification process of people when they enter those dating apps of who they really are. What happens is a lot of these people enter into the dating app and then they switch to a different platform again. They'll ask you if you're on whatever dating app you're on, they'll ask you to go to What's Not or WhatsApp or Twitter, or they'll create something different to pull you out of the protections that you're in the dating app to get you into the wild, wild west of whatever app they're using.
Okay.
So in this one, I was matched with a person on a dating app. We talked and gave each other our cell phone numbers to communicate outside the dating app. Red flag 1. I learned that the person I was talking to was an Army nurse who had lost both their parents and had a troubled childhood. Sympathy. Then I was told he was being deployed for a high-profile U.S. ambassador. We exchanged private photos of each other during our talks. He then asked me to switch to a different app so we could continue to communicate securely. He told me that all his personal belongings were lost during the deployment and asked if I could send him some money to help him. He then started to harass me and stated if I didn't send him money, he would send the private photos to my students, and that should motivate me to help him.
Scam number 9, utilizing the post office.
Mailboxes are not the most secure. They've upgraded them now, but we've all seen the thefts of the mail key, and that's the skeleton key that opens up mailboxes. The other mailboxes have a security feature on it, like rollers inside of it now. So if you put your mail in, you're unable to get in there with some people use a string with a piece of gum, some people use a hook, some people use a magnet, different things to try to fish stuff out of that. What I would advise people is use the post office. If you have a chance to go to the post office to drop your mail out, go to the post office actually and drop your mail at the actual post office and not a remote box somewhere at the corner of your street or something like that.
Let's look at the holiday and holiday tips, and there's kind of a list that you can run down for us.
So we're going to talk about watch out for fake sellers, right? Stick to trusted retailers, right? We all go online and there's 16 different options you can pick. Go with the trusted seller, read the reviews. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. Check the website URL. Do not rely on the links. You'll be on one website, you'll click on a link, and then you're in a totally different world that looks exactly like the one you were looking at, but it's not. So make sure the website has the name of the company you're working with. Question cheap deals. If it's too good to be true, it's usually bad. Check the seller reviews. Take 5 to 10 minutes and read all the reviews. Don't fall for pressure sales tactics. Selling fast or being discontinued. Limited item, this time only. Buy now or it's going to be gone. Buy 2 and we'll give you 5 free. That kind of thing. Don't pay with untraceable currencies, gift cards, crypto, or money orders. Never give out your account number or social security number in response to an unsolicited call or email. And then regularly check your account. Look for the inconsistencies in transactions and balances.
If you get nothing else from this conversation between the two of us, if folks don't retain, I think that it was delivered in such a manner that they will retain.
Hopefully.
But in case they don't, let's talk about the 5 takeaways.
So if you don't recognize the number, don't answer the phone. Have the caller leave a voice message and call you back. That gives you that pause, that break in the chain of events that can sever this scam. And that's what we're looking to do. If it sounds fishy or too good to be true, it's probably a scam. Number 3, Bitcoin will never be used to facilitate any transaction for law enforcement. The police, the government are not calling you and telling you to pay them in Bitcoin, whether it's a fine or anything else we ask for. No gift cards or Bitcoin ATMs. So these scams work on urgent pressure to protect your account in fear. It's pressure and fear are the 2 ingredients to get this to be successful. Watch for someone offering to send a courier to pick up money or gift cards. If you feel pressured, take that pause. Contact a friend. Talk to somebody. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency 99% of the time are not used to pay bills. Gift cards are not used to clear a debt or repay a debt. Be careful what information you give out via phone or text. Do not download an app or install software during a call or an email. And then use one credit card for your online purchases. You can call toll-free fraud numbers at any one of the 3 major credit bureaus to put a fraud alert on your credit report. Fraud alerts can help prevent identity theft from opening additional accounts in your name. As soon as the credit card bureau confirms a fraud alert, the other 2 companies will follow automatically. They can close the accounts that you know or believe have been tampered with. And this is where we talk about monitor your credit. So you can call these people. I think you get 1 free credit report a year, but you have 3 different companies, so you can get it 3 different times a year. And the numbers are listed here. The emails are listed here. Request that they place a fraud alert on your file. What that does is going to lock down your credit. Now, there's a little caution to that. So if you go to the store and LL Bean's having a sale, and you're going to try to open a credit card with LL Bean, you're not going to be able to because your credit's locked.
Right.
But they have it now with the phone and the app where you can unlock your credit, you can apply for that credit card, get approved, get that deal at the store, and then relock your credit as well. As simple as that.
Detective Lieutenant,
thank
you
you
for
for
stopping by, and you're welcome anytime to kind of update us on the most recent scams.
Okay, thank you.